friends. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between see, watch, and look. The difference between see and watch is really similar to the difference between hear and listen. And if you haven't watched that video, I'm going to put it in the description box down below so you can check that out to help you with this video. But really the big difference between see and watch is intention. So, for example, if we look at these two sentences on the slide, one of them says, "I was really bored last night, so I watched a movie." And the other one says, "I saw a giant shark swimming in the ocean." So, which one of these actions, if you had to choose between the two sentences, which one of those actions is being done on purpose? I'll give you a second to think about it. Did you get it? Okay, great. Yes, it is watch. Watch is being done on purpose. So just like in my other video, where when we listen to something, we do it with intention. When we watch something, we're also doing it with intention, on purpose. It's something active, something we choose to do. Most people don't choose to sit in front of the TV and watch a whole series in one afternoon unless they want to. So usually there's some reason or a goal in mind when we watch something. On the other hand, on the flip side, seeing is passive. We don't necessarily choose to see something. It's just what happens when our eyes are open naturally if we're not blind. So it's a sense, right? It's a physical reaction that you can't control. So for example, I saw a giant shark swimming in the ocean. Nobody's gonna choose to see a giant shark swimming in the ocean because that's scary. If you see it, it's probably just because your eyes are working and not because you want to see a shark in the water. Okay, Gabby, that's great. I understand the difference between watch and see, but what about look at? When do I use look at, and what is the difference between look at, see, and watch? Let's take a look at this example sentence here. "Honey, I know you're reading that map, but look at that giant dinosaur." So looking at something is also, okay, so 90% of the time it's a planned action. It's the decision to move your eyes from one direction to the other, to somewhere else, to another direction, for some purpose, to either gather information or because somebody has told you to look there. You want to observe something in particular. Otherwise, you would keep your eyes fixed on the thing that you're originally watching. Normally, the difference between watching and looking is the duration of time. So we look at something really quickly, or not necessarily quickly, but long enough to kind of gather what we need, and then we will change the direction of our eyes. Whereas if we're watching something, we're pretty involved with it, and it takes place over a longer period of time. So I found this little GIF from Jurassic Park, which is a really good example, I think, of look at. She's watching her map. I guess for lack of better expression, she's watching it, she's studying it, and he physically moves her head in another direction to focus on the dinosaurs that are on the other side of the car. Okay, and so this is English, so of course we have exceptions, right? You will hear native English speakers say something like the following: "Did you see that movie, episode, or show?" And somebody might say, "Yeah, I saw it," or "No, I didn't see it." And you might be thinking, wait, but wouldn't that be watch? Because you are choosing to watch it and it's a longer period of time. And yes, you're correct. It should be watch. In this case, we're using see to mean watch. But most of the time, we just use watch. So you could use see or watch here, because in this expression, especially when you're talking about movies, in a movie theater in particular, I went to see a movie at the movie theater is much more common in my experience than saying I went to watch a movie at the movie theater. But they both mean watch in this case. Sometimes we use see to just mean I understand. So for example, in Jaws, when the main character sees the giant shark in the water, he goes, I think we're going to need a bigger boat, because they're supposed to be catching the shark or something. I don't really remember. I'm terrible with movies, so don't ask me anything about movies. I should probably pick other examples, but this was the first thing that popped into my head. So he sees this shark. He says, I think we're gonna need a bigger boat. And then this is not something that is said in the movie, but a character could see, I see. Yeah, I know what you mean. We will need a bigger boat. I understand you. Okay, so I made this little kind of cheat sheet here to help you when deciding between see, watch, or look at. So if something is like an instant reaction to a quick sight, it's usually you're gonna use see. So, ooh, I see a bird, or ooh, I saw my friend crossing the street. I didn't choose to do it, but it's just a physical reaction that happened to me. If you make a decision to change your eyes, the direction of your eyes, to look at something else, you will use look at. So I just use look at when explaining it. So it's usually for something that is not over a long period of time and you are changing your focus. And then lastly, we have watch, and watch is longer periods of time for something that we want to focus on because we have some kind of goal in mind from watching it. So let's try out this practice exercise here. There are 3 sentences, and I want you to fill in the blank with either watch, see, or look at. So take a minute, fill in the blanks, and we'll see if you're right. Okay, so how'd you do? Let's see. Let's start with number 1, obviously. So number 1, blank the sky. It's going to rain. So what works here? Look works here. So you might not be looking at the sky, but if someone says, look, it's gonna rain, you have to change the direction of your eyes and focus on something else to see what that person is describing to you. Okay, number 2, do you blank that the road is closed up ahead? We need to take another route. Do you see? Yes, do you see that the road is closed up ahead? We need to take another route. It's probably not something you would choose if you had the opportunity to choose. So it's just a physical reaction to something that is happening in front of you. And last is, in order to learn how to cook the recipe, she needed to blank her grandmother carefully. Watch. Yes, very good. So this is something she needed to learn. She had a goal in mind, so she needed to kind of study and focus on her grandmother with her eyes, which would be to watch. Okay, so that's it for see, watch, and look at. I hope you found that helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.